I am Sarah Vaughn. I'm with the City of Elizabethtown, and today wearing the hat of the Issues and Insights host for HCEC-TV. Welcome aboard. You're in for a treat. As we all know, nonprofit organizations are something that we have a ton of in the Hardin County area and Elizabethtown, all of which are very important to so many different causes. But today we get to talk about one that is very near and dear to our community and some folks' hearts as well. Welcome, Tanya and Shana.
Thank you.
Tanya is the Executive Director of JT's Way of Elizabethtown, and Shana Norton is with our local coroner's office, which unfortunately has gotten a lot of PR in the last couple of years.
We have.
Thank you for all that you do. I'm sure that's not an easy job. How long have you been with the coroner's office?
Here in Hardin County, I've been 9 years. But total, I've been a deputy for going on 15. So.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for that public service. Tanya, you've got a special place in your heart for this nonprofit, right? So
Yes.
JT's Way, here in Elizabethtown, being the executive director, how did this get started? What does JT stand for? Tell us the starting point for this important.
Okay, so JT is our 17-year-old son.
Okay.
In 2019, he was in a car wreck, and in that he passed away. We had that, it was just kind of a, as you can understand, just something that was devastating. But the community just rallied around us so much. It was overwhelming, and we would never be able to say thank you to them. So to honor JT and to say thank you to the community, JT's Way was born, and with that, it's just been amazing how the community is welcoming JT's Way.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about JT.
Okay, so
What is this J? What J and T? What do they stand for?
okay, that's John Thomas,
Okay.
and that's what I say, John Thomas or
course,
Johnny.
right.
Everybody else calls him JT. He was just the child that I always say, he was mixed with just the perfect amount of mischief. And he just had a charm about him and the sweetest smile. But the thing about him that I think most people remember is just the fact that he was a true friend.
Yeah.
He just, if he had a conversation with you about something, he would check in with you a couple of days later just to make sure, that you were doing okay, or
As a teenage
how
boy.
things was going. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And so the car accident, and of course you were then hit with not only the devastation of losing your child, which obviously is an unimaginable thing, but
Right.
then you have to deal with the business side of things.
Right. And, with that, we did have a group of people that kind of came in for us, and they took care of making arrangements. They would talk with us, and then they would make sure that the people who needed to know the arrangements, was carrying out our wishes. But I'm finding out that, unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that. That support system, and that's where we want to step in as well, and we want to be there to help them with decisions or things maybe that they haven't thought about. One of the things was when it come to the questions that the funeral home asked was, how many death certificates do you need? Well, that question just kind of hit me like, I don't know, one? And,
Right.
Then I was told, no, you need probably at least 10. And I was just
And they have a cost associated with each one.
Correct.
Which is not something, you know, you're planning for his college, not
Right.
his funeral. And
Right.
that's definitely, I could see that as being, I don't know the answers to any of these questions because I'm not
Yeah.
supposed to be answering them, and having to get through that.
Yeah, this was his senior year, so
Yeah.
you're right. You know, this was what we were supposed to be planning.
Yeah.
Not his funeral. You
Yeah.
know, so.
And so many parents every single day are stuck in that position because your nonprofit services families that have lost a child before the age of 20, right? From
Yes.
birth to age 20. I know my brother, they lost a baby during 19 weeks gestation, and they had a funeral for the baby, and she had to give birth. Same thing of having to plan this all around that.
Yeah.
And so many other families, situations where they're teenagers and horrible accidents and cancer and just all these things, unfortunately, they're a part of our reality. So thank you for that and being able to share your story. And I'm sure JT is looking down, going, good job, Mom, you know, help them out because they need that. So Shayna, tell us about your involvement with this organization.
So when Hardin County, when a family is faced with a death, you know, we're the first ones after death to meet with families.
Okay.
So we're kind of the front line for JT's Way. We're the ones that are able to say, okay, this is what's going to happen, but we have family that are able to, they've been in the same boat. I'm sorry,
No, this is a hard conversation.
So
You're the front lines to moms and dads and grandparents.
right.
And you've got to help them navigate the next 24 hours of their life because they can't even focus on anything else at that moment,
Correct.
unfortunately.
So we're able to say, hey, you know, there's a family that's been here.
Yeah.
So we're the front line for JT's Way. We're the ones that are able to tell the families, hey, you know, there's a program here locally that will help you with financial for your funeral, emotionally, spiritually, anything you're going to need, they're here. So I know that they do have a application that they like families to fill out, but sometimes the families just aren't able to physically
Emotionally, yeah.
find a computer, get logged on, and get stuff. So, you know, I call Tanya and say, hey, we're on a case. This is the history. This is what's going on. I'll find you some contacts. So once we're able to get that contact, we, you know, call Tanya, and she's the one that's able to make that initial contact with a family
That's
member
amazing.
that, you know, and she's able to say, hey, you know, I've been here. I've been in your shoes. This is what's going to happen. This is your next step. This is what we can help you and your family do.
So then you step into a therapist role, for lack of a better term, and a better than a therapist because you're a mom and you're there and you've been there and you probably have those feelings and all the time, every day, all day. And so
Right.
stepping back in to know exactly how to help that mom or that dad or that family member.
Right. So I like to think of it more of stepping into that friend row, you know, like John Thomas, like he was.
Oh, I
and
love
so that's
that.
how we got the name JT's Way, because it was the way he had about him. And so, so we definitely, you know, step in, and we just want them to know that we're there for them. You know, if they want to talk about their child, or if they want to cry, or if they, you know, whatever it is that they are needing to process it, we're there. And as Shayna was saying about the online form to fill out for assistance, you know, it doesn't even have to be the parent. It could be a family friend. It could be, you know, someone from their church. Because usually after we get the form, we will start working with the funeral home or the cemetery, something like that. We try not to bother the family a whole lot, because they're just in that place of they don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So.
And there's even been some times that, you know, people may not financially need the assistance for, you know, a funeral.
Okay.
But they're able to pay for, you know, an obituary in the newspaper, or, you know, sometimes family members aren't obviously able to work during this time. So there's been times that they've been able to help families,
Sure.
you know, just for regular
with
bills,
utilities.
utility bills.
Sure, most definitely. So after you dealt with losing your son and going through all of the things that you went through, how did I always like to hear the history of, where was the magic at in saying
She really, she doesn't like.
I don't like telling
this.
the story.
But if I've said it once, I've said it 20 times. That if someone would have told me a year before John Thomas's accident that my dearest friend would be the person that told me that he had passed away, I would have told them that they were a liar.
Yeah.
And there was just from the beginning just a connection between our family and Shayna and the rest of the coroner's office. But there's always a blessing in the deepest pain, and our friendship would be.
And I really didn't get involved with JT's Way like right on when they first started. I mean, you all had already done a fundraiser and everything, and I wasn't a part of that. And then she came to me, she was like, "We would like for you to be in Are you sure? Are you sure?" But yeah, her telling that story every time, I'm always like, "Okay, go ahead, tell the story.
Get it over with."
Yeah. So.
Well, and it's a perfect match because you are the front line to sharing the devastating news,
Right.
and starting that conversation of how their lives are about to change. And so, what a blessing to have come out of that trauma and now I've got to keep it together, of being able to help people like that. That is probably one of the most selfless things for you both. So I hope to never have to call you, but as a mom to know that you're helping other moms. Woo, okay. This is a heavy one today.
Well, and that's kind of something that Shayna and I have been talking about, and I don't mean any disrespect, but we're not a feel-good nonprofit.
Right.
And so
You're the one we never want to deal with.
exactly.
Right.
And
You hope that we don't.
yeah, exactly. And because I've also said I would love to raise money but never ever have to spend it, because if we're not spending it, then that means we're not losing our
Exactly.
children. But it's just
Car accidents happen,
they do.
and cancer happens.
Yes.
And it is the part of the world we live in, unfortunately, and being on this earth. And so, I used to work for a rape crisis center, and that's not a topic that was ever great to talk about, but we had to, and death and all of those terrible topics. And that's why I say this is one of the most selfless things, because it's not something we want to talk about. We don't want to talk about losing children.
Right.
We don't want to talk about the hard things in life. So it's amazing. And October is Child Loss Awareness
Right.
in Elizabethtown.
Yes.
So talk about that and the proclamation with the mayor. Doesn't your husband work for the city of
He
town?
does.
Okay, we got to plug him in there.
So, so we got a proclamation on Monday that says that October is Child Loss Awareness Month in Elizabethtown, and so that's really big, because if you do a lot of research, October is Child Loss Awareness nationally, and or infant loss awareness, but you don't really see child loss. No. And that was another thing that in the early stages of JT's Way, when we were doing a lot of the research, we were finding a lot of support for infant or pregnancy loss, but we weren't finding really anything for older children.
Yeah.
So we really felt that need to go ahead and do this.
Definitely, most definitely. How amazing! So what was the how long between the time of his death and the beginning stages of you guys really talking about this and working it out was that?
We, of course, like I said, December 2019 was the accident. We had our first board meeting to bring everything together in February of 2020, and we had our nonprofit status in April 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
The strength
Yeah.
that takes. And has this been a really good outlet for you?
You know, it really, really has. It has been able to help me stay close to John Thomas.
Yes.
And keep his memory alive.
Yes.
And there's healing in helping others. And some days are hard, you know, but it's.
You're the only one up here that hasn't cried. Come on, Tanya.
My eyes are watery, and I'm really just kind of
You are
swallowing
like
it down.
the strength of, I
know.
don't even know. Wow.
Like I said, normally it's the other way around,
Yeah.
and I'm supporting her, and not today.
So how can we help? How can we, as citizens, that money, attending events, what can we do? Tell us.
All of the above.
Okay.
So we need to bring on more awareness
Yes.
that we're here and what we do,
Yes.
and you know we want the community to say, you know, when something like this happens, to say we need to call JT's Way. You know, someone in that family circle to say we need to call JT's Way.
And do they always get you, or do you have other folks, volunteers?
For the most part, they'll get me, but we have actually grown to where we have an office now, and we're all volunteer
Right.
staff. You know, so I do have. She's turned into a wonderful office manager. Her name is Jennifer, and so she kind of takes care of office stuff. So there may be times, you know, that they'll speak to her as well. But so, you know, through the awareness and through helping us to fund the opportunities to help the families, and then through coming to the events and really, you know, staying plugged in to our website. We
Which
have an
is?
event page. It's www.jtsway.com.
Easy enough.
Easy, yeah.
And a phone number?
Well, with the phone number right now, they can call 270-862-2915.
Okay.
That is a phone that is at our home. So if the calls come in, say today, they'll be answered tomorrow. We don't have that office phone yet. So, you know, I'll contact them, but they can always email me at tanya@jtsway.com.
Okay.
Or, you know, they can message us through Facebook, which is just JT's Way. So.
Facebook page, which is one of the number one ways that we communicate these days. That is for sure. So upcoming events that we can all jump on board with. Paint party and gala. Talk about that.
Okay, so on November 7th, we're going to have a paint party. And we had one back in the spring, and it was so much fun. It didn't even feel like a fundraiser, I don't think. It was just so much fun. You know, people got little groups together, and then they came and sat, you know, with their little groups, but then people walked around and was, you know, talking to everybody else, and it was just really...
Is this the guided painting of something?
Well, it's a door hanger.
Okay,
That's what we'll be
perfect.
doing, is the door hanger.
Perfect.
And so that is, the door hangers are $40.
Okay.
And there is a small service fee on there as well. You can go to the website and register for that and pay for it and everything through there. And so then that's going to be at
Heartland
Elementary.
Sports Pub.
Sports Pub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So from there, I know last time people were ordering pizzas, you know, and stuff like that. It was
you a
just
drink,
a lot
whatever you
of
wanted.
fun, yeah. And then, so we're real excited about that. And, but the most exciting thing that we're working on right now is the gala. And it's going to be, it's actually going to be at EC3. And we're going to hold it there. And they're going to, we're going to have a live auction.
Okay.
And so, you know,
dinner.
yes,
What date is this? Have you set it?
That's going to be April the 30th.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So yeah, I forgot about the dinner.
Nice dinner. Get dressed up.
Yeah.
Come get your picture
Yeah,
made.
Exactly. We're going to have a red
Awesome.
carpet and people
Oh,
taking pictures in front of that. So, you know, as adults, we like to get dressed up every now and then too. And
Yes. How much is a ticket?
Okay, so with that, the table itself is going to be $1,000.
Okay.
But it will seat 6 people. So you can, you know, split that up between 3 couples or however that works. But you can also break that down and have, and each person at the table can ask for donations from friends or family who aren't coming, and that helps also pay for the table.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
So if you can't afford a table, can you volunteer? Do you need help in volunteering ways for that? Donations maybe from your
Donations,
companies?
definitely. We do have sponsorships that we have different levels of sponsorships.
Awesome.
And with that, some of those levels you get your own table. Then there's other things as far as advertisements. We're going to have a program journal, and so it's going to tell about JT's Way and the night and the roles of the board and volunteers. But in the back, it's going to have advertisements. So if businesses would like to purchase advertisements, they can do that as well.
Perfect. Lots of opportunities to support. If you're
Yeah.
not available that day, there's a ton of other ways to give us your money. Right? Okay, I like it. So, do you have standing volunteer opportunities for folks that help with things throughout the week? Is it better just to write you a check? What kinds of things day in and day out is helpful?
Well, we have an amazing group of volunteers right now, but you know, if somebody felt that they were being led to contact us to volunteer,
Right.
you know, please give us a call, let us know, email us, and then also, you know, financially to help
Always.
to, we would never turn that away.
Funerals are absolutely crazy.
Yes.
Yes, they absolutely are.
And we don't, you know, a lot of families will do GoFundMes and things like that. You know, that doesn't stop us from helping.
Okay.
You know, because there's a lot of things to take into consideration. There's, you know, the number of children that are still in the home, that, you know, has the child been in the hospital. You know, so that money, it's going to be used for other things. You know, our main concern is to just take that burden of how are we going to afford this? How are we going to do this away from the parents, and, you know, just kind of lessen that blow just a little bit.
And I'm sure too, you have the experience, been through it, and can say, have you thought about this? Or have you thought, or I wish I would have done this during that time.
Yes.
And share some insight that folks just don't have on that topic. So I'm to wrap up, I'm gonna put you on spot a little bit, and maybe this is an answer for you both, but has there been a feel good as we can kind of success story that's come out of it since it started, other than this happening?
I would say for me, it's definitely been the friendships that I have made with the families that we have helped. You know, I mean, we have families that will still now that we have an office especially, they'll just stop in, and, you know, so we have become a family. And so
Your own support system.
Yeah, for me, it's just definitely been the new relationships that have been formed.
Awesome. Shayna, you have anything else you'd like to share with that?
And yeah, I was trying to think of success stories, you know, but
If you can call them that.
yeah, especially coming from
Silver
our
linings,
office,
yeah.
right? You know, just having that contact to be able to give families, that's a huge thing for us.
Gotta be, because you've never had that before in
Oh,
your
no,
career,
no,
and
no,
wish
never.
you could do more
Right.
as they're sitting in front of you and helping them for advocacy.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, ladies, thank you for all the work that you do day in and day out. Thank you for taking a traumatic thing that happened to your family and having JT continue to live on in our community.
Yeah.
And people, I didn't know JT. I didn't get the chance to meet him. Our paths did not match up, but I feel like I know him. You know, I feel like I've gotten a little bit of insight on who JT was, and so thank you for that, because I think that's very important. So, okay, to wrap up such a heavy, amazing topic, thank you all so much for joining us. We hope and pray that you're able to support JT's Way of such an amazing organization here in the community. And if you've had any type of a loss and you would like to give back as well or reach out to them, contact their office. One more time, Tanya, give us the website and the phone number.
Okay, the website is www.jtsway.com, and the phone number is 270-862-2915.
Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for your time. Thanks for joining us. Have a fantastic rest of your day.
We're going to start with Child Loss Awareness Month. So, Ms. Wigglesworth, if you don't mind to come up here, both of you, I'm sorry, that'd be great. I'm going to read this. City of Elizabethtown Proclamation to all to whom these presents shall come, whereas the month of October has been designated Child Loss Awareness Month, and whereas the purpose of the proclamation is to educate the public about the many reasons parents are losing children and the needs that they have, and whereas there are few organizations that are committed to assisting these families and the overwhelming need to assist them with funeral, burial, and utility expenses, and whereas the recognition of Child Loss Awareness Month is imperative, and whereas the importance of bringing recognition to child deaths that continues to be a problem for many families in Hardin County and surrounding areas, and whereas the intent of Child Loss Awareness Month is consistent with the activities of JT's Way, and now therefore I, Jeffrey H. Gregory, Mayor of Elizabethtown, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim October 2021 as Child Loss Awareness Month in Elizabethtown, Kentucky.
I know that he had mentioned JT's Way, and what that is a nonprofit organization that we started in honor of our son who we lost in a car accident. And since then, what we have done is started the nonprofit, and we help with burial, funeral, and utility expenses, as well as helping to find counseling and things like that for the families.
And that nonprofit came out of the support of the community that we got.
Yes.
It was overwhelming.
this
And so
is
we
our
just want to
thank
give that
you.
back.
Thank you.
God bless you all. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.